Well, good evening and welcome to our farewell edition for season 2015 of the GV Footy Show. This evening, I'm thrilled to have here with us this evening one of our major sponsors in relation to the development of young men in the competition, Alan Rosignoli from Rosignoli Real Estate. How are you, Al?
Very well, thank you.
Thanks for coming in, son. I really do appreciate it. And of course, the winner of Alan's award this year goes to a young man from Euroa, young Jarman Tremellin. How are you, Jarman?
Not too bad, Foxy.
Well, look, I'll start it off this way, Al. You've been with us for 2 years, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. And Jarman will have a bit to say about it in a minute, but in football terms, right through our country, Victoria, developing young men that want to go on to play football is probably our biggest challenge right across the board. There are that many things, that many other sports happening to them. Consequently, with the input of soccer, with the input of basketball and so many hockey, so many other sports that come into it, it's very hard to find people that want to put their time and, more importantly, their own personal money into football for the development of that given product. Alan, as I said, has been a regular with us, and he does it unashamedly and proudly. And we're really proud to have you on board, Alan. It makes a huge difference.
And look, David, and to everyone in the GVFL, it's a pleasure to actually become involved over the last 2 years with the under-18s. I'm a strong believer in development, and Jarman's a great example of that, and I hope that he's able to go forward and into future leagues, but if he can't, well, the development as it is now, and to support he and the GVFL along the way is a great thing for our office, and we're very proud to be part of it.
Alan, I've got to tell you that your particular award, we hear so many about the best and fairest winners, we hear about the players that kick 100 goals and all that sort of stuff. With your award, we leave it totally and wholly and solely in the hands of Mario Di Santana, and unfortunately Mario can't be with us this evening, for he's got a commitment up at Baruga, and in Mario's situation, he controls it completely, and we leave it to him. He confides with a boy called Jason Wells and Brendan Bicknell, two legends in the GV Footy League, and they say, well, we're looking for a kid that's well behaved, goes to school. Now, how they got him has got me from that point on. Well behaved and goes to school. Well, there's two no's. Can play a bit of football and is also handy around the club. You know, there's a lot of ethics into it, because anyone can be a superstar.
Absolutely.
But you can be a superstar and a scallywagon. Jarman met that criteria, and I might tell you too, Jars, there was a couple of setbacks for you along the way. You broke a bone earlier in the year. Where was that?
Yeah, just in my arm, the tibia or whatever it is. Yeah, broke that early in the season, so made it hard for
the two bones in your arm are the radius bone and the ulnar. Your tibia's in your leg, so you're breaking your tibia bone. I'll just help you out there, mate. No, otherwise, you've got the shortest legs I've ever seen in my life. But
yeah, true.
And Jars, the other thing too, this week you're on the back seat of a bus that was hit rear-ended by a semi-trailer on the Hume Highway.
Yeah, Monday, first day back from holidays, so it was a great way to start after holidays. I stayed at my girlfriend's house actually, so shouldn't have even been on the bus.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have said that, but you did anyway. Now it's too late now.
So Monday morning, 8:30.
And off to hospital?
Yeah, went there, got to hospital about 2 o'clock, so long wait, but yeah, all good.
Now, Jarman, last year you made the Bush Ranger squad, and we were cut at the final death knock, and you've got an invitation to go down and join them again this year.
Yeah, hopefully get the chance again, so give it all this year, and my final chance, so.
Now, your side, Euroa, you finished third in the competition?
Yeah, third or fourth we finished. Good season, but would have hoped if injuries and senior players were there the whole year, but oh well.
Now, I know we refer to them, Alan, as we refer to young boys, young kids, and I hate the terminology using that when you're asking them to go and do a man's game at under 18 level, and I don't like that, but he's a very good young man, as so many of our blokes are in this competition.
Sure.
And Jarman, on behalf of your club, your teammates, and I'll give you the opportunity to respond to Alan, and you can say whatever you choose.
Yeah, just on behalf of me, I'd just like to say thank you. It's one of my biggest awards I've won, most likely, and really appreciative of you supporting the under-18s in the GV, and just thank you to the footy club and the whole league for getting this award. So Yeah.
Congratulations. I think it's great to hear that it's such an award outside just straight, using one's ability, kick 100 goals. I think clubmanship is so very important. We've seen and heard about the major AFL clubs, those which look after their players, they look after each other. And I think we'll see in the future that the clubs will really do a lot more of that, and the ones that are successful are very much along that way. So to you, congratulations. I hope this money can go towards perhaps some travel or other commitments you've got within your football career. If not, buy something good with it.
Well, he's going to turn 18 in how long, Jars?
Yeah, 4 months I think it is, so
Yeah, and
it'll come in handy.
Yeah, you're lucky you gave him a cheque, because we're going to take it down to the pub when we knocked off tonight and cut it out amongst the boys. But no, look, Alan, I can't thank you enough. Be it as humble as it may be, excuse me for a moment, these are our shirts that we wear proudly on the GB Footy Show, and on behalf of everybody that's involved in the GB Footy Show and the Go TAFE Golden Valley Footy League, take that, mate. I know you like to get out on the bike. I know you like a game of squash. Wear it. One size fits all. and I can't tell you how much we appreciate your support.
It's my pleasure, and I can tell you here and now that I'll be supporting again next year.
You're a ripper, aren't you? You're an absolute ripper. And I wasn't going to ask you that because I know times are tough out there. But
they are, but I have very limited amount of sponsorship, and I look very carefully at local talent and local activities, and I think the under-18s is a great development for the GVFL and further in someone's career, and I hope it helps.
Now, I'll tell you just before I go, if you are thinking of buying or selling a home, if you are looking at rentals, if you're looking at any opportunity at all in real estate, Alan Rosignoli is the bloke to talk to. He's a straight shooter, a terrific bloke, supports the local people in Shepparton right throughout the Goulburn Valley region. Now, without any further ado, I'll thank you again, Al. You're a ripper bloke. What's your work number? What's the best number to get you on?
Give us a call at the office on 58 211 277, or come in at 115 Wyndham Street, Shepparton, just opposite the ambulance station.
All right.
Cheers.
Thanks, Al, and thanks, Jarman. Now, we just covered the live streaming of the finals. These are the people that are exactly responsible for that.
G'day, I'm Brad from Benalla and Mansfield Toyota. The new Hilux has just arrived. It's the nation's favourite workhorse, a reputation for being unbreakable. This tough vehicle thrives on being pushed to the limit.
She's tough, all right, but have a look at the features. It's like driving around in a luxury sedan.
Come in and test drive one today, only at Benalla and Mansfield Toyota.
Value Auto Group.
Burls Livestock Transport, a family business which has been owned and operated in Euroa for the past 30 years. With all types of trucks, it's Burls for prompt, on-time pickup and deliveries throughout northeast Victoria. The Burls fleet is immaculate, so if you need stock picked up or delivered in the northeast, then give Burls a burl.
Kittle Brothers is your most trusted name in funeral care.
With over 100 years of experience, we take pride in attention to detail. We offer completely personalised funerals and we listen.
Kittle Brothers turn to us with confidence.
If you need a new battery or tyres, or your front end aligned, head across to Rochester Tyres and Batteries or Williams Tyres and Batteries in Kyabram for the best deals on tyres and batteries in the Goulburn Valley. With experienced staff who specialise in major repairs to all types of tractor tyres, you can't go wrong at Rochester Tyres and Batteries or Williams Tyres and Batteries in Kyabram.
If you need a taxi, wheelchair or maxi taxi for up to 10 passengers with quick, efficient country-style service, then call Kyabram and Tatura Taxis. They pick up anywhere in the Goulburn Valley. Call 1300 130 699.
Everyone in the bush knows that Rodwells has been around for years. Not everyone knows that Rodwells are part of Rulco Property. Rodwells Rulco Property are specialists in residential and rural property marketing. Rodwells Rulco Property services include expert marketing of livestock, wool, rural merchandise, and of course residential and rural properties. Visit rulcopro.com.au. Rodwells Rulco Property. Local service, national strength.
Goulburn Valley Roadworthy Centre is a division of Tom Hogan Auto Repairs, specialising in roadworthy certificates for light and heavy vehicles. With first-class workshop facilities for all types of repairs and mechanical inspections, and as of the 1st of December 2014, they'll have the only roller brake testing system in the Goulburn Valley. Why go anywhere else? Goulburn Valley Roadworthy Centre.
Tatura Landscaping and Garden Supplies offer you a full range of all your gardening needs. Sand, soil, gravel, mulch, you name it, they've got it. They can hire you a dingo, install your sprinklers, pave, mow your lawns, prune your trees and take all your rubbish away. Give Peter or Jordan a call or call in and say g'day to Wonky the Donkey. Tatura Landscaping and Garden Supplies, the best by a mile.
Sleeth Tyres of Mill Street, Maroopna is your local tyre and windscreen specialist. On farm, on site, Sleeth Tyres provide personalised old-fashioned service. Windscreens supplied and fitted, tyres from $70, windscreens from $240. Call Brendan Sleeth at Sleeth Tyres.
Thinking about building or renovating? Consider Harper & Morford Residential and Commercial Builders first. Sustainable, innovative construction and design for over 16 years. Harper & Morford offer hassle-free, efficient, cost-effective building solutions. Drop into our showroom or visit us online.
Okay, well, it's time now to get our component on for the end of the year, where we're going to just talk about football. I'll be going across the panel with the boys. We'll talk about a few highlights. We'll talk about the season that was. To my left, Oliver Caffrey. Ollie, how are you, mate?
Yeah, great, Foxy. End of the year, big year. So look forward to reviewing it all tonight.
Now, look, a couple of upsets. I'll get you here because you're first off the rank, but what a performance, Maroopna seconds.
Amazing performance by Maroopna. I thought Mansfield was absolute morals for that. They went in the game hot favourites, and unfortunately for them, they didn't turn up on the day, and Maroopna just stormed over the top of them. Lucky Devine, brilliant in the ruck, and second best on ground performance in a row. So he had a big end to the year for Maroopna, and yeah, a well-deserved win for the Cats there in the reserves premiership.
Oliver, do you think Mansfield had an older list than the Heat got them?
They definitely had an older list. You saw with Maroopna, Lucky Devine, he's only 20, and they had quite a number of other guys, smaller guys, that were probably running out the game a bit longer. But Mansfield just weren't really switched on right from the start, I didn't think, and Maroopna just played on top of them. So maybe the Heat came into it a bit, but I think Maroopna was just better all day.
On my immediate left, Guy Morford. How are you, Guy?
David?
Sorry, John came in straight over.
No,
you know what he's like.
He normally
but
does.
He's on the quarter zone, so he's having up. Have a look at me little mate now.
I know.
I've got to tell you, I happened to send a photo off. Now, just have a look at poor old Johnny Pops here. Have a look at my main man laying down. Now that is the love suite. That is the love suite. Notice the stock and the whips. And
still laying on the working bench.
That's exactly right.
Looks like it's a Polo 11 with a big moon boot.
It's called the table of no action. And poor old Johnny's laid up. He's got a crook, ham and egg. So now, Guy.
David.
With you coached the premiership side at reserve level last year, you called it this year, and congratulations on the call. It was excellent.
Thank you.
Big transition in 12 months in footy, wasn't it? Like, I mean, the year before you played in extremely windy conditions for all finals on the weekend. Hot as, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a fantastic effort by Maroopna to do what they did. And Oliver's right. I've got a lot of respect for Mansfield, and I'm really good mates with Matt Storer, but they just never looked in the game at all, Mansfield. And Maroopna just were young, they were fit, they ran the ball, they played Deakin really well, actually, I thought. And Lockie Devine is an absolute superstar. His game, the last, I've called preliminary and grand final this year, and his performances were sensational.
How old is he? You say?
He's only about 20.
Is he?
Yeah. I think a couple of years ago, young Lockie might have been the full-back for the Murray Bushrangers. I think he might have been.
Well, he played a lot of senior football the year before, didn't he?
And even this year at the start of the year, he was in the seniors, but it was the back half of the year he was playing a fair bit in the seniors. So, he's going to be a star of the future. He's going to play a lot of senior football.
You think at 20 years of age, they would have persevered him at senior level, wouldn't you? At that age, 20 years.
He was a really rounded performance, but it was hot conditions, and but both teams had to play in it, and Maroopna were better on the day.
Well, they were, and no doubt about that. Before we get on to John about the main game, I can tell you the Morrison medal this year went off to Ash Watson, the champion. Not another word can you use when you speak of him. Ash Watson, a deserved winner, won it by five votes from Shane McDonald from Maroopna, and a worthy winner. Stephen Scott, the little legend, absolutely loves his footy and had a bit to say about it. He'll play till he cannot walk anymore. Been a great player for a long time, Scotty, and he took out the Abacare medal. And in the third 18 competition, it was Matthew Palmer. He took out the Patterson medal. And of course, Matty is from Rochi and a very, very good footballer indeed. So congratulations to those 3 winners. And of course, let's not forget either Josh Mellington took out the goal kicking award, and he ended up kicking 111 for the season, but at season's end he kicked 95, and of course he takes out the jewellery, that magnificent
watch.
Yeah, Johnny, it is a gold watch, and good on you, Josh. And
yes, he had a good year. He only kicked, I think, 56 last year from memory, and to come up this year and finish with 111 is a very good effort.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Anyway, John, we'll get into the main game, boys. We're all there for that, and John, just go through some of the stats you might want to go through.
Yeah,
that you've
just
got up there.
some of the stats we took at the weekend. Just tackle wise, I suppose when you're winning these, you don't have to have a lot of tackles, but they still did. They had 42 tackles to Kai's 27, so that's a pretty big margin. Free kicks was 22 to Benalla, to 26 to Kai, so in Kai's favour. But the big one, marks inside 50, 15 to 6. Yeah, and that just tells you the tone of the game. And Morgan had, Will Martinelli had 36 stats, along with Lukey Morgan and Sammy Martin. They had 33 apiece, so they were stars. But you go through their whole side, they just had winners everywhere. They're all outstanding.
Guy, do you think they had one passenger in their side, Benalla?
No, not at all. Benalla's performance on Sunday was sensational. They deserved to win. It was a fully rounded performance. Always look at, from a coaching point of view, John, that tackle count.
Yeah.
Benalla having 42 tackles to Kai 27 says a lot for the pressure that they're putting on a side. And even though they've won convincingly, you've still got to get those numbers up.
Oh, yeah.
To me, tackle counts is one of the biggest stats I believe in football, because it just shows that perceived and also the pressure that is on the bloke with the ball on the opposition.
We spoke about it before the game, and we said, like the Hawthorn with their pressure, but your skills have to be clean.
Yep.
And Benalla's skills were really clean, and Kai's, they were shabby.
John, you talk about tackles. 42 tackles Benalla had on the weekend, Kai 27. I think one, coming from a bloke with a bit of experience coaching, I reckon tackle stats are the biggest stat you can look at in football, or one of the biggest, because it just shows that Benalla had to win the game, and they did comprehensively. But 42 tackles to 27 says that their pressure acts were massive, and in a grand final, those stats, I believe, really count. The other one I want to point out too is that, Martinello, Morgan, Martin, good numbers, and that's all great. And stats, I still think sometimes to me that high possession getters don't really show, as much as probably what they should. In the fairness too, Josh Marchbank's game on the weekend was sensational. Now, he may not have had 36 possessions. He might have only, he might have only had 18.
Yeah, well, he's got a different style game too.
Correct. But to me, though, I just think sometimes on-ballers get 36 possessions and they're automatically best on ground. And on the weekend, I just don't think... I think for me, Marchbank was best on ground for his performance on the weekend.
Oh, look, we spoke about Marchbank, but we also spoke about, before the game, Foxy, in our preview, that tackles were going to count, this was going to count, but clean skills, that's the thing that counts. Yep. And if you turn the ball over, you're just going to get hurt, particularly on Deacon Reserve. And Benalla didn't, and I thought Kai's skills were very, very sloppy. And I thought they really struggled at that level. But I think also the biggest thing, you talk about the Martinellos or Morgan or 34 or 5 stats, everything depends on what they do with it. Look, to me, football's a game of minuses and pluses. And to me, when a player gets a stat, you put it a minus straight away. When it hits its target, it becomes a plus. Now, I've seen plenty of players that have had 38 stats, and they've hit the target 10 times. But what the ball does then when it turns it over, and where it goes and where it finishes. Now, we've had games, even when I was coaching, that's how we took our stats on minus and pluses. We had players who were having 30 stats, but when they turned it over, they cost us 5 goals.
Correct.
So that's the most crucial part.
And that's what I'm saying. I'd like to see those stats. 36 is a great effort, don't get me wrong, but I'd like to see clangers and everything else. I'm not saying Will Martinello, I'm not naming names or anything, but I'm just saying sometimes stats can be perceived and taken differently.
Oliver, just who was your best on ground? I'd like to...
Definitely Josh Marchbank. Without him in the ruck, those guys like Martinello, Morgan, Martin, they wouldn't have had as much of the ball as what they did. Marchbank in the ruck, just amazing. His height, his versatility across the ground, just giving the guys in the centre first use of the footy. And once they got the dominance around the clearances, it was game over. It was an absolute demolition for most of the day. There was only a period in the second quarter where Kai even looked like it. They kicked 4 goals and they looked like they might get themselves back into the game. But apart from that, Benalla was just outstanding all day and deserved their win.
Probably a bloke after watching the game on the weekend, one bloke was probably stiff not to make me top 50 was James Martinello. I thought his game was really good, James. He worked really, really hard. I thought he just sort of slipped off a bit, but his grand final performance was very, very good.
Johnny, who was your best, mate?
I'd like Will Martinello. I thought he was outstanding. But I think you could have had anyone a 6 on best on the ground.
Definitely.
Or even in your best. You could have 6 and I reckon you could put another 5 in because it was such an even spread. Marchbank was outstanding, there's no doubt about that. Sam Martin, he's a star. Morgan was outstanding. So to miss one of the, if you had a 3-2-1, you're going to miss someone who'd be very, very stiff.
If you had your time over again when you first met Nola and Will Martinello was there, who would you pick?
I probably will.
Sorry, Nola.
Now, I got to say,
you have a man crush on him. You do.
No, he's a great player.
There's no doubt.
I'll tell you what, I reckon I've seen a kid there on Saturday, he's better than him, mate.
Who?
David Menon. He's got something special.
He'll
get
drafted. He was brilliant.
He has got something special.
I reckon the league, the umpires and the media, I reckon they got it right with all the award winners on grand final day at that senior level. I really do. I think, I was rapt that all the award winners have picked up a medal of some description. I just thought on the given day, they got it spot on.
Tell you another bloke who was very good and not many people spoke of him was Ryan Colbert on the half-back flank.
Yep.
I thought he was, the way he mopped up.
Number 6.
He was outstanding the way he mopped
good player.
up.
Very good player.
James Martin, Brooke Martin. They just had winners everywhere.
Zach Paulprat.
Zach.
He was good.
When he came on, he did his job, didn't he?
Yep.
Actually, Zach told me last night, he won't remember this, when I spoke to Zach last night.
Why wouldn't you remember?
He had an amazing capacity to talk braille.
Yeah. And he said to me, make sure you say on the footy show this week that Gemmell pulled your pants down, Jake. So that's what he told me to say, mate.
No, he certainly. I'll tell you right now. I think I don't think Benella had a bad player.
No, he didn't have a great player. No, Jake Paulprat played really well.
Yep.
And I'd just like to thank while we're on it, like Bruce Biggs, Luke Morgan, Lockie Smith, Josh Mellington, Will Martinello, the Paul Pratt boys, and Sammy Little, of course, and Jimmer for the phone call last night, Foxy.
Yeah, it was a wonderful moment that we shared with them.
Yeah, and
I understand they got diamond service there at the party too. They
have diamond come and a knot of the Neil Diamond.
Diamond?
Yeah. Oh. The diamond was there. I don't reckon many will remember Diamond. Right. But Diamond and there, and just remember, it wasn't Neil.
Bit of entertainment?
No, I think so. And there's some more we're on that, Foxy.
Yep.
I think I've got to bring up Luna Park.
Went there once as a kid. It's down in St Kilda.
Is it still smiling?
It's got a very big grin. The gateway to Luna Park
big
has got a very big.
Now, the little man rang me and told me I'm back in favour because he's back in the top 50. Yeah. But he needs an apology from you from saying he looked like, when you said in the call that he looked like he was at the gate of Luna Park when he kicked that goal and started smiling.
No, I didn't say that at all, Luke. I might have said something along those lines, but I can't remember. As a matter of fact, the sun had come through the window and we got hot in that broadcasting booth, I can tell you. Wasn't it a hot day? Let's change the topic. No, but Luke, we spoke last night. Look, while we're on things that we have to clear up, the Tatura Hotel. Now, it was just a little additive that we brought into the show, and the people that have won and put in for the competition right throughout came in about mid-year, and it was fantastic. We had people from all over this region go out and have a beautiful meal there at Tatura Hotel, and of course the awards for the boys that played really well during the final series, the Steel Line Award. We thank Steel Line again. They've been long-time participants with us, and it was just really, really good to have that sort of involvement, John. I can tell you that within the realms of vanity and all that sort of stuff, that our figures, through you people, I can tell you that our YouTube from last year, 2014 to 2015, has gone up by 20%. Now, that is an amazing performance from you people. On Facebook, this time last year on Facebook, we had 334 people that liked what we were producing here. This year, it's just short of 1,300. Now, that, if you look at the overall perspective of it, the YouTube component's gone up something like 500%, and the Facebook is around the same mark. We couldn't do that without your support, and we're really proud of it. The messages and the emails that we've received since the completion of play are truly wonderful, and it's brought about by these blokes here. I don't think Mario can't be here tonight, and Mario's done a wonderful job with the under-18s. You saw that earlier with
outstanding.
He's a terrific fellow, Mario, and the inclusion of Oliver Caffrey to us during the final series has been fantastic. Guy, a new kid on the block, by comparative terms, has walked into media very, very well indeed. And I've said it to you before, when he signs over in football, I believe Guy will be probably one of the number one callers of football in this region, because he knows a fair bit about it and is a good caller. And of course, I don't want to say anything more than what I will say about John Ryan, other than there is no one better in media to work with than John Ryan. But enough said about that. Of course, the quality of the picture is brought to you by a fellow who just chooses to remain anonymous with us. But if ever you run into Haig Lindsay, he's a terrific fellow, wonderful family man. Got a big business enterprise now. I know we've carried him. We've made him look good on occasions, but he's a terrific bloke, and you couldn't work for a fairer man.
Can we get him in front of the camera just once?
No, you won't do it.
Come on, Haig.
I'm telling you, you'll be sorry.
Come on, Haig.
Saying no on the camera.
So I'm going to go around the table, and we'll come back and one thing. Ollie, right through the whole year, I've rung every one of these boys through the course of the week, and I want you to give me your number one highlight for season 2015.
Ash Watson winning the Morrison medal, just one of the best players in the competition for about 10 years now. He's probably, I wouldn't say underrated, but probably been underrated by the umpires for a long time now. And this medal, it's been a long time coming, and to see him up there getting presented with that medal was a fantastic highlight throughout the year. And yeah, he's just been so consistent for such a long period of time in the middle. He probably has been overlooked by the umpires just because he is so consistent. Just nothing super flashy about him compared to some other players, but just keeps winning the ball, 40 plus possessions most weeks, and just really respected by most people in the league. So to see him up there, get his first Morrison medal, just a respected player in the competition, a great guy, so humble, and yeah, a fantastic effort by Ash Watson.
Great call, Ollie. Guy, what was yours, mate?
Back up what Oliver said, that was fantastic, and the fact that I picked it in the first show was even better, John.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's not my moving right along.
Yeah.
My favourite part of the year, look, I've got to be honest, was probably Tatura. I love football and I like seeing sides be successful like Benala's and all that as well, but you've got to remember in football that there's always sides of clubs and other people who aren't going so well, and unfortunately this year was Tatura's turn and they finished on the bottom of the ladder. But I just thought it was fantastic to see the Jamison Daniels, who's an absolutely ripper bloke too. I had the pleasure of sitting with Jamison on the weekend at the grand final and talking to him, about football and life and everything else for about a half a footy, and he's just a wonderful fella, Jamison, and seeing Tatura win that game, last game of the year, up at Echuca, was just, for me, was the icing on the cake. So we've got to remember that whilst winning football, we go out there to play and win as well. There's always got to be a loser as well, and I just think we need to give respect to the other side of football as well.
Johnny?
Yeah, well, you buggered me, you just stole me thunder, because my highlight for the year was the YouTube figures tripling, and I thought, that's been an outstanding through credit to you, Foxy, being the host, and of course, the things we stuff up and he puts it together and just does it absolutely brilliantly. So to you two guys, I can't thank you enough. I think you've just done an outstanding job between you. And, you look at the grand final and the preliminary final, it's a two-part thing. That's my highlight of the year. But, I think we had, between the two games, 60,000 plus viewers. And I think that's a great credit to Haig, who sits in that van all day. But the blokes I want to play a lot of credit to are the two cameramen. I went down there at 8:30, which was daylight saving, 7:30 on that checkered plate, and it was bloody hot then. Those blokes stood there all day in that heat. They filmed. The quality of the film was fantastic, and they stood there all day. There's no shelter, nothing like that. So to Haig and those boys, I just congratulate them on an absolutely outstanding job. And to you boys for what you've done, that's been my highlight for the year. I think it's what we've taken to the people has been outstanding, and the feedback I've got back from the people has been outstanding. So to Foxy and Haig, and particularly his cameraman, to stand out in that heat, absolutely outstanding.
No doubt about it, Johnny. I ditto for everything you said. My highlight for me, undoubtedly, and I've been really all the same. There's nothing better than watching a champion in full flight. I've been lucky in my time that I've seen the great Paul Newman, not another way to describe him. I've seen Timmy Luby, just, like a fantastic player. And some of the things they did on a football field are etched in my memory forever, and they really are. But in the preliminary final, I was taken aback by the skill and I've met the bloke, he's a lovely fellow. But I think anybody that was privileged to be at the preliminary final and see the performance of Farron Priest in that preliminary final, I think that was a catalyst. And it's easy for me to say because it's certainly not a one-man show at Benalla, but I reckon that was the catalyst to Benalla developing a belief that they never had last year, that they gained through the actions of one that triggered all the other boys to lift their game. I know it's a huge call just to highlight him, but for goodness sake, I've nearly said something else for a minute then, but...
We can cut, he fixes it up for us.
Yeah, see, but some of those marks he took for a boy his size and then just went back and drilled it. It was just, I was that lucky to be there to witness that. I'll never ever forget it. And a lovely fellow with it too, I can tell you.
And I think what you're saying there, Foxy, about setting things up and making it right, what it did, it freed up Josh Mellington. Now, they know Josh Vick got him at Uriah. They said he's not going to, it was smart work by their bench. They've put him at midfield and then high half forward. Well, they know Josh Vick can't go there with him. But with Priest being there and Warnock where he was, he had that up, like he kicked 6 and he's kicked 3-3, I think, in the grand final. So, it was a great move by him, and you're right, Foxy, his performance was outstanding.
And Jordan Wood freed him up as well. But yeah, he took some of one of the greatest marks, if not as equal to what Sard did at Deakin Reserve in a final.
Oh, yeah.
He was sensational.
Jordan Wolf's game at the weekend was great.
Yeah.
He played a role of being in this certain area, then leading up for these blokes so they can come into it. And now he did that really, really
Talk
well.
about underrated players. He is underrated.
The whole final series as well. It wasn't just the grand final.
Oh, yeah.
So in the qualifying final against Rochester that day, and he was brilliant that day. Got Warnock into the game, got Mellington into the game as well. He was brilliant throughout the final series.
Righto, fellas. Well, we're just about done and dusted, Johnny, really, for the year, I think. And
yeah, look, I think, by the way, watch the Bulldogs in the next few weeks. I think they're about to sign about 5, 6 or 7 players. Some handy players. A couple of boys I think will come back full time.
Do you want to let the cat out of the bag and tell us who or not?
And I think there might have been a bloke that's going away. I might head that way.
Ollie, again, I thank you. Have you got anything you'd like to say before you go?
Oh, thanks for having me on in the last few weeks, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure and great working with all of you, and especially doing the preliminary final in the reserves in the special comments share, which was an absolute privilege. So, yeah, thanks for having me on, and it's been a great year. Look forward to another great season next year.
Do you want to
don't get rid of the shirt.
Do you want to talk about the improvers, or you just want to wind up?
No, mate, I think you don't want to. It's done and dusted. The year's over. I think that's about as much as what you want to do, and unless you'd like to, but I reckon.
Would you like to kiss me before I go?
No.
Oh, I'd like to see it,
guys. Is there anything you'd like to say? Is there anything you'd like to say?
There's a lot of things I'd like to say. Look, I mean, I'm not going to get emotional or anything, John, at the moment. But no. In all seriousness, I think the show, back up what you blokes are saying. It's been a fantastic learning curve for me this year. It's a new thing that I've done, and I've only grown by it. And I just hope the league can honestly see how good the production and the presentation and what I've worked on the weekend at live streaming, how good it really is, because we are in a digital era, and I can tell you now, if we don't keep up with it, we'll fall behind. So to the viewers, thank you for watching. It makes it part of the amount of people that come and say, Morph, love the show, JR, Foxy, you've got red hair, we all know that, but all in all, it's been a fantastic year, and most of all to the viewers, thanks for watching.
Don't get rid of your shirt. Hope to have you on board next year, but I hope you realise your ambitions. Johnny, want to work with you till I can't work anymore. Taheg, thank you very much. From the GB Footy Show for season 2015, this is your friend David Fox saying bye-bye for now.